Hey, let's look at this game. Storm versus Roosters, Amy Park, 7:50 p.m. You can catch it live here on SEN. Both teams pick the same 17, so no changes there. Cam Munster has spoken to the media about there being no AFL in Melbourne this weekend.
Yeah, I think we had 23,000 last game we played here, so yeah, look, it was a good turnout. Hopefully we can get sold out 30,000. I'm pretty sure Amy holds, so that'd be ideal, considering the AFL Grand Finals, Lions and the Swans. So yeah, it'd be good to get some purple in the stands. So it's going to be a big game against the Roosters. We've got a good rivalry against them, and probably the last 8 years we've been playing against them in finals time. So yeah, they've won a couple and we've won a couple, so yeah, it's always a good battle.
Let me just read out my rundown here, Fletch.
Yep.
Munster spoke out to the media about there being no AFL in Melbourne this weekend.
Yeah.
He's since edited it. There is one game in AFL.
Oh, yeah, there is a big game.
Yeah.
On the Saturday.
Yeah, a pretty big game.
Tourist. You've been going so well. Tourist.
Tourist. All right. We know about this record for the
Yep.
Roosters, 1 in 21 or whatever the bloody hell it is. How do they beat the Storm?
Yes. Well, the Storm this year haven't been, defensively, they haven't been as rock solid as they have in previous years. You know, I think they're leaking about 18 or 19 points. So they have let points in. The thing with the Storm is their kicking game is far superior than the Chooks. And at this level, and at these important games, kicking games are so important. What they'll do is they'll get to halfway and they'll kick to a corner and they'll go down in the first 3 tackles. They're just very, very good at holding you down. My worry is that the Chooks haven't got any long kickers. They've got Keary and Young, Sandon Smith. They had it pretty easy against Manly. But in saying that, they've got guys in their team. I would be getting the ball to Joey Manu because at the moment, that was his best game in a long time.
Ages.
And if we can get if the Chooks can give him early ball on a spread and just let him go right foot, or come off his right side and play left, which he was doing with Teddy, they were linking up through the middle. I reckon they might have some joy there. They've got to not get bogged down in an arm wrestle with his mob because that's not the way they play. They've tried to do this in the, as you mentioned, that stat of 20 in a row. And I think they've just got to relax a little bit and back themselves a bit. You might have to throw an offload. You might have to get Angus Crichton on an edge and instead of getting a quick play the ball, maybe just pop one out the back because that upsets their defence.
For the Roosters, there's a number of players moving on next season. It's Keary's, Ray Hargraves, both Josephs. Would they chat about that pre-game and use that as motivation?
For sure. Jared would be up and about talking about saying, like he's been there 15 years. And the thing with Jared, he gets the best out of Lindsay Collins. When Jared and Lindsay Collins play together, for whatever reason, Lindsay is just very, very, what is it? Like he's racking up. So Jared inspires them, motivates them. It was a bit like when we had Adrian Morley.
Yep.
You just needed Moz just to fly off your line and whack someone, and then it'll just spread. It was contagious, and everyone was flying off the line. So Jared is important to the Roosters, but I think he's really important for Lindsay Collins.
Will he get more minutes this weekend?
Yeah, well, I think towards the back end, Robbo just said, don't risk it, you know. He wanted to go back on. You saw him prowling the sidelines. He did enough in that first 25 or however long. I think he played 30 minutes. He did enough for that to set the scene, and that's what he does, Jared. He sets the scene, and he's going to be up against Big Nels, where there is a bit of history there.
Bit of bad blood.
Yeah, which is good.
The Storm, they've announced today that they've sold out Amy Park.
Oh, how good.
Yeah. Just on that matchup you talked about, Nelson and JWH, Munster had a little chat about this earlier in the week.
No, it's up to Nelson, I think. Look, ideally, you don't want him doing those types of things, but that's the heat of the battle. That's the heat of the game, you know. So I'm sure they have a game plan to combat that or try and get under each other's skin and vice versa. So it's going to be an interesting time on Friday. We're going to get down. We're going to be back against the wall, and we're just going to somehow find a way to get out of it. And they're going to be the same. So it's going to be fireworks on Friday, and we're really excited to play this type of games. I know a lot of other teams would want to be where we are. And, we don't want to be losing this opportunity, that's for sure.
One man that wanted to get in on that action, and it's debatable whether he should be in his current condition, is Victor Radley. Should he start? Well, here's what he had to say about coming back from injury.
No, it was all right. I started getting a bit sore at the end of my first stint, and then I didn't have to go on in the second half, which is a positive. The boys came out the second half and kind of got a few early tries, which, lucky enough for me, I just got some splinters in my arse and sat on the bench for the time.
No, he's as important as Jared to this side, and that can motivate you as well. Like, he's playing with a fractured shoulder blade, and I know needling is a big thing now, but I don't see how he can be 100% pain free in that, because it's a nerve thing, right? When you numb an area, it's got to be the nerves around it. Like, is there a lot of nerves there? Don't know.
It'd be a unique spot to get hit, but like we spoke about last week, you could easily hold someone up and hit them in the back, couldn't you?
And that's what Melbourne do very well. They hold you up in a ruck. So, ooh, yuck.
An opportunity at playing in another grand final for the Roosters and James Tedesco. Here's what he had to say about the excitement of potentially making another GF.
I think if you make a grand final in the year, it's just as special, no matter how you get there or no matter what's happened before. I think that's the goal every year, to get into a grand final, to win a grand final. And as I said, we've sort of done it the hard way, but we give ourselves an opportunity, and we're excited because I've said it all along, you guys have got all the confidence and belief that if we put our best foot together, we can beat any team, and I'm still firmly believe that.
Yeah, he's a key.
As we were speaking, JWH and Big Nelson are on the screen in front of us. JWH did get into him, didn't he?
Yeah, that was the semi-final when they were into each other. So if you're watching this game on Friday, you don't want to blink, because we don't want to miss the kickoff or the first 5 minutes, because there could be obviously fireworks, but there could also be a couple missing. Hopefully the referees just...
Weren't they great last week?
They were. And I saw Peter V'landys come out saying, the reason why the referees put the whistle out is because the players are better at this level. I don't believe that.
No.
I don't believe that.
No. All right, let's get a tip for you before you leave us for the week.
Well, I'm going for the Chooks, obviously.
Give us a head bet and a heart bet, maybe.
I think the 9.5.
Yeah.
Like, that's head. I think the 9.5 is too big.
Okay.
So I'm really keen on that. Sugar's pretty keen on them actually getting the cash at $3.60. What's gambling really costing you? The Melbourne Storm, their completion rate was at 95%.
It's impressive.
Against the Sharks. The week before was 90. So they're hard to beat anyway. You need to rely on errors, whether or not the opposition's defence wasn't putting any pressure on them. But the Roosters have to be very good. They have to be no 6 agains, no penalties. Everything's got to be, they've got to at least get to 90% themselves. Yeah, Chooks. Chooks by 1.
Chooks by 1.
Chooks by 1 in a Golden Point thriller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no crow. Oh, yeah, crow me. It'll be less than 4 points either side.
Like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, let's go to the second match. Panthers take on the Sharks. That's out at Accor Stadium, 7:50 p.m. live on SEN. Cam Smith had this to say about the Panthers having more pressure than the Sharks.
If I could give them any advice, they shouldn't go into this game with any pressure on them at all. If there's one team that should feel pressure, it's Penrith. And I know that sounds funny because they've been in the last 4, but there's so much expectation on Penrith. Like, how many people at the moment are saying, "Oh, look, Sharks will win this for sure"?
Like,
very few people.
Literally no one.
Sharkies fans.
Yeah.
All right. Like, let's be honest. It's Sharks fans that are backing them at the moment, and I reckon even a few of those are saying, "Well, geez, we're going to have to be exceptional to beat Penrith."
Yeah.
Are the Panthers under more pressure?
I wouldn't say pressure, but enough. Because they don't want you to go away. They want you to go away. They want you to make an error coming out of your own half. They'll get to 6 points, 8 points, and they'll defend that lead. Just go with them. Get into the rhythm of the game. Just get your kicking game spot on. There's another, I know I'm talking about the kicking game again, but they just want you to blink first, the Panthers. They back their system in defence. And if the Sharks can rattle them a little bit, and they get into the lead at half time. Who knows? Who knows what can happen? I know they're not out of the realms of possibility of panicking themselves, Penrith.
Last week, Trindle had the hot hand, and Hines kind of played the back role, took a back seat and played a role part in giving him more ball.
Yeah.
Could that switch around this week, or will they go Trindle heavy again?
Well, the beauty of that is they'll be coming for him. Their back rowers will be coming for Trindle. It's whether he can stand up, and this is perfect for Nico. This is perfect for Nico. He was a lot better last week than he'd been the week before. Whether that was the coach, Fitzy, telling him, just you control your side of, because usually he's been playing both sides. That's when he's up and about. So
he even did a lot less kicking. He only had 3 kicks last week. So maybe he steps up this week and takes over a bit more playmaking.
Well, they'll need him to. They'll need him to. So I'm going for Penrith. The start again's big, isn't it? 12.5. I think the Panthers will get it.
I think they cover, yeah. Nico had this to say about getting into the finals and getting the monkey off their back.
Yeah, it feels good. The monkey, we didn't speak about it a hell of a lot, but it's there. It was present. So, it just feels nice that it's more that, we've worked so hard to get into this position to put ourselves in a spot to win these finals games. So it's more that we're just proud of getting into a prelim to be one win away from a grand final. So, the monkey thing wasn't spoken about a hell of a lot, but just more proud of our efforts, and we've put ourselves into a really good position this year to be here.
Yeah, they're playing with house money now, aren't they? No one's given them a chance.
It's a good season, right? It's a successful season.
They're going to run third or fourth.
Worst case scenario, equal third.
Yeah.
Grouse.
And they've beaten. Did they beat? Oh no, they got pumped by Penrith, didn't they? They beat Melbourne. They beat the Chooks.
Yep.
So if they do manage to do the impossible, they'll be very confident the following week because they've beaten both of those sides.
Cleary was asked about catching it, but Hines was asked about catching up with Cleary after the game. He's been a bit of a mentor, it sounds like. Let's have a listen to what he said about that.
Oh yeah, look, it wasn't super planned. It was just more that he was in the area and we caught up, and I just picked his brain a little bit. He gave me some advice, and that was it really. Like, I know everyone's talking about it, but right now I think, with all due respect, I love Nathan, but I think what's more important right now is me focusing on the Sharks and trying to take them down and get a good win for us. And I'd love to sit here and talk about Nathan all day and our relationship, but I think what's more important is what the Sharks need to do and what I need to do for the Sharks this week.
Alrighty, so you're thinking Panthers 13 plus?
Yeah, I am, unfortunately, for the Sharkies. I'm not shark bashing. Might be a dickhead, but I'm not shark bashing.
Alrighty.
Who are you going? Give us your tips.
I'm going both teams 13 plus.
Favourites.
And Panthers.
Okay, side bet.
13 plus.
Side bet for the Roosters and Melbourne. How much start are you going to give me? Give me 13.5, 12.5. Well, you're thinking it's 13
That's
plus.
more than the market.
Yeah, well,
I'll give you the market. 10.5.
We just say it's 12.5.
I'll give you 10.5.
Done. Shake. What are we playing for?
Pineapple?
Upside down or? Okay, 50. Yeah, I'm happy with 50.